Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st Canto, 8th chapter, text number 35. Bhave Asmin Klishamananam Bhavesmin Klishamananam Avidya Kama Karmabhihi Avidya Kama Karmabhihi Shravana Smarana Arhani Shravana Smarana Arhani Karishan Iti Kechana Karishan Iti Kechana Bhavesmin Klishamananam Avidya Kama Karmabhihi Shravana Smarana Arhani Karishan Iti Kechana Bhavesmin Klishamananam Avidya Kama Karmabhihi Shravana Smarana Arhani Karishan Iti Kechana Bhavesmin Klishamananam Avidya Kama Karmabhihi Shravana Smarana Arhani Karishan Iti Kechana Bhavesmin Klishamananam Avidya Kama Karmabhihi Shravana Smarana Arhani Karishan Iti Kechana Bhavesmin Klishamananam Avidya Kama Karmabhihi Shravana Smarana Arhani Karishan Iti Kechana. Synonyms: Bhave, in the material creation. Asmin, this. Klishamananam, of those who are suffering from. Avidya, nuisance. Kama, desire. Karmabhihi, by execution of fruitive work. Shravana, hearing. Smarana, remembering. Arhani, worshipping. Karishan, may perform. Iti, thus. Kechana, others. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swamy Prabhupada Ki. Translation. And yet others say that you appeared to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned soul suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. Please repeat. And yet others say that you appeared to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on, in order that the conditioned souls suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. Purport. In the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Lord asserts that He appears in every millennium just to re-establish the way of religion. The way of religion is made by the Supreme Lord. No one can manufacture a new path of religion as is fashion for certain ambitious persons. The factual way of religion is to accept the Lord as the supreme authority and render service unto Him in spontaneous love. A living being cannot help but render service because He is continuously made for that purpose. The only function of the living being is to render service to the Lord. The Lord is great and the living beings are the subordinate to Him. Therefore, the duty of the living being is just to serve Him only. Unfortunately, the illusioned living beings, out of misunderstanding only, becomes servant of the senses by material desire. The desire is called avidya or nescience, and out of such desire, the living being makes different plans for material enjoyment centered about a perverted sex life. He therefore becomes entangled in the chain of birth and death by transmigrating into different bodies on different planets under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Unless therefore one is beyond the boundary of this nescience, one cannot get free from the material threefold miseries of material life. That is the law of nature. The Lord, however, out of His causeless mercy, because He is more merciful to the suffering living beings than they can expect, appears before them and renovates the principles of devotional service, comprising of hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, cooperating, and surrendering unto Him. Adopting of all the above mentioned items or any one of them can help a conditioned soul get out of the tangle of nescience and thus become liberated from all material sufferings created by the living being, illusioned by the external energy. This particular type of mercy is bestowed upon the living being by the Lord in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare. So we are reading the prayers offered by Queen Kunti. So she was referring to different reasons that Lord have appeared in this world. In the previous verses she quoted saying, "You have appeared for the pleasure of Devaki and Vasudev," and so forth. And here she is mentioning that you appear to rejuvenate the devotional service of hearing, remembering, worshipping, and so on in order that the conditioned souls suffering from material pangs might take advantage of gain liberation. Although there are different reasons mentioned, but Lord not specifically comes for one reason, but He cumulatively executes all the reasons that are mentioned here. So, in this very good words, a very nice couple of words that we can dwell into is Bhavesmin Klishamananam. This word often we hear, Bhave or Bhava. So even in our Guru Puja we mention Chahara Prasade Bhai E Bhava Toriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hote. E Bhava Toriya Jai. Again here word the Bhava. So Bhave and Bhava are kind of little synonymous, but here we understand Bhave means very interestingly Prabhupada translates it as here in the material creation. But the little modified understanding that we can bring about is to grow. In the material world, whatever appears has to grow or change or vanish. If it comes into existence, it has to vanish. So bhava, one of the meaning is to grow or change. And one more understanding that we can bring is to become. Whatever becomes in this world vanishes also again. So for example, all of us have got certain bodies, and we are sure that this body also vanishes over a period of time. So bhava is kind of a temporary case. We also say bhavaroga. Bhava is also considered as birth death cycle. So in different ways, here she is mentioning as bhavesmin. Asmin means this bhava, this material creation, because only in this material creation, this appearance and disappearance, birth and death, or coming into existence and vanishing, or we can say growing, transforming, all this happens only in this material world. Just because we have gone through this bhava, we have all got this bhava. Starting from small ant to Brahma. All the 84 lakh species, they are prone to this bhava. They become one of them. Cat, dog, devata, whatever. So, here she is addressing that bhavesmen klishamananam. Klishamanana means of those who are suffering from. As soon as we get into this, we become this, it is prone to suffer. Why? That's the avidya kama karma bihi. There is a kind of shakti called avidya. With that shakti, with that kind of propensity or getting persuaded by that avidya, kama karma bihi, people start doing different desires, different activities. First of all, we should understand this is avidya. This is just a transitional period that we have to just tolerate this avidya cycle and come out of this avidya. So how do we come out? That's the next two lines. Shravana smarana arhani karishan iti kechana. Just by doing that, Shravana, Smarana, Arhani. Hearing, worshipping, and remembering. Karishan iti kechana. So this is the way that you come out of this avidya cycle. So if we have to dwell more into this one avidya, very nice verse that we come across in Chaitanya Charitamrita. It's going like this. Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetragna Tatapara Avidya Karma Sangnatya Tritiya Shaktirishyate. So here also there is mention of three Shaktis. We all know there are many Shaktis of the Lord that work on different circumstances. There are many Shaktis of the Lord that He wants to use it on different purposes. So this verse says about Tritiya Shaktirishyate. There are three Shaktis He is saying. We are trying to understand the Avidya Shakti. That's also Lord Shakti. Why has He put into this world? We will not get into that. But how this works, how we become. So that's the point of understanding. So the translation of this is the internal potency of the Supreme Lord Vishnu is spiritual. As verified by the Shastras, there is another spiritual potency known as Kshetragna or the living entity. The third potency, which is called Niscience, Avidya, makes the living being entities godless and fills him with fruitive activities. So as soon as this Avidya portion comes into this bhava, we become one, And then what it says, makes the living entity godless and fills him with fruitive activities. As soon as we get into any of these bodies, this is conducted by the material nature. Invariably, this all starts one after the other, one after the other. This avidya shakti is so subtle, we may not even perceive sometimes. So, and all the energies of the Lord, either internal energy, external energy, or marginal energy, they're all energies of the Lord. But here very clearly it says internal energy and marginal energy are of the same quality. They're all parashakti, paraprokta. So we have to understand, we as a spirit soul, living entity, are also spiritual in quality. We should never forget that. We have the great prerogative of utilizing that in a right way. Just that the living entity is put into this third energy, avidya shakti. So avidya shakti can be overcome. How does avidya shakti overcome? As soon as we come into this body, it says godlessness comes in, fruitive activity comes in. But we have seen how we have come out, or per se, we are all here trying to transcend that avidya. That comes by the spiritual master's mercy, Lord's mercy, different devotees' mercy. So different aspects are there, how we come out. It's a transition again. It's not that it switches on and then there is no avidya. You're always in vidya. No, not necessarily. Again, the circumstances, the nature that we are put in, may bring us back and forth. This may happen. So, this is not specific to one or two of us. It's to everybody. Even Brahma, he was so boastful that, okay, now I am the creator. But he did not know how to create. Then Lord, after great tapasya, he reveals Tene Brahma Hridaye Adi Kavaye, how the creation has to be done. So similarly, all of us are bound to do or ought to do some things, but we should know it is an inspiration of the Lord that makes us do some work. Otherwise, this material world is just a transition. As Prabhupada says, bhava means is to become. You become this only for a period. So, this is one more very nice statement Prabhupada makes. This, of course, we know, but the laws of nature is that which is born must die, and whichever is not born, it will not die. Which is born? Body. That is supposed to die. And which is not born, it will not die. Which is not born? Soul. So, if we go into this deeper and deeper, we know temporarily we are in this, and we have to know how to make it spiritual. That's the second two lines. Shravana Smarana Arhani. Always try and be with hearing about Lord, so that you don't succumb to the external energy that the nature is putting on. It is just a transition. So that's how Prabhupada has made this system of having centers across, so that we take advantage, come here, everybody is geared up, glorifying Shravana Smarana Arhani, so worshipping Lord. No, it is just a matter of giving little time. Yesterday, I was just doing some kirtans, and within a matter of 5 to 10 minutes of kirtan, I noticed many people who have come here, they started clapping. It is just a matter of time. Why did they not start clapping in the first minute or second minute or third minute? They are just hearing it. As soon as some 7-8 minutes, of course, our crescendo also increased. But nonetheless, they started moving their hands. Nobody told them. Sometimes we do tell, but it is not necessary that we tell. We have seen automatically people take to this. So it is just the faith that we have in this process, and Kuti Maharani is very nicely presenting it. Shravana Smarana Arhani Karishyan iti kechana. If just they do perform this devotional service, whatever, there are of course, Prabhupada says very nicely here. The Lord, however, out of His causeless mercy, because He is more merciful to the suffering living beings than we can expect, appears before them and renovates the principles of devotional service comprising of hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, worshipping, praying, cooperating and surrendering unto Him. Imagine if just somebody cooperates, that's also devotional service. Adoption of one of all the above mentioned or any one of them can help the conditioned soul get out of the tangle of nescience and thus become liberated. So there are many people who come, they may not be interested in some kind of devotional service, but they may be interested in something else. Say for example, if you tell them probably you serve some khichdi, they'll be more excited than probably something else. So each person has got some instinct. So they have develop some attitude or understanding of this world or whatever they have. But invariably, when they come in touch with anyone or all of them, they will have that devotional service going on. Shri Radha Govinda ki jai. So this is very nice, and Prabhupada says this particular type of mercy, what is that mercy? Adoption. This particular kind of mercy is bestowed upon the living entities by the Lord in the form of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord comes Himself only to do this Shravana Kirtana Smarana, so that we get this opportunity and have this going. And one more interesting aspect that we can learn from this is when it says that anybody born in this material world must work, just like nobody can stay idle for long. As soon as we come into this world, we have to work for something. Nobody can sit idly for long. So just like this world is considered to be kind of prison. In a prison, nobody is just left like that. They are given some work because they have to do some work, but it's a liability to the government. But now, that liability, it may not be so bad, so that they do some work and recover that. So similarly, it is a transition period that we have, and what work is best is the Krishna conscious work. And now each one of us have got some abilities, right? Somebody may be good in somebody may be good in something else. So we have to tap that. What is that good? What is that devotional service that I can do? Otherwise, people just roam about or get fascinated or get longing for so many things that come about by. On a daily basis, so many people they interact, so many hoardings they may be coming across, and just getting carried away brings them nowhere. So, as I was just contemplating on this verse and then reading a couple of related verses, one thing struck me. There are so many people watching cricket all the more now, and recently there was a call for a new coach for Indian team, and then a news popped up saying there were thousands of applications, I was wondering how thousands can come in. We don't have so many experienced players that can fit in. But out of curiosity, I started reading, what is this? And they say there are many people who are just fans of cricket. They've applied for coaching Indian team. I was wondering how this idea come about, and then when I was reading this statement came up. Yeah. Change of field of activity. And now, say for example, some fan of cricket, he may be doing some work, software or whatever, he has his own business or whatever. So he has got some field of activity. Every day the body is doing some activity. And now his aspiration is he wants to coach Indian team, cricket team. And now I was wondering, so change of field of activity. Now, for example, whatever, we may circumstantially try and understand, he has got that coaching job. And now he is just a fan. He understood what is probably cover drive, square drive, etc. And now he has to coach some big people. So it is wondering that people get carried away so much that they don't know what they have to desire for, what they have to long for. Okay, if it's in the mind, okay, he has taken an application, he has filled it up, he has sent it, he has put some energy, effort. So that brings in saying people have no bar in desiring. And Lord is so merciful. Okay, you want to become a cricket coach? Okay, he'll make you forward, look forward. May not happen in this life, but maybe next or next to next. So in this way, you go on imagining how many desires come up and how many probably start applying or so forth. So many applications in so many streams. Somebody may be fascinated for, and there were different things. Somebody is just fascinated by using that cube. You all use that cube, right? Colors, they change and then. So he was so fascinated, he just wants to finish off solving that in 5 seconds, in 4 seconds. I said, how much time he would have spent to solve the cube so fastly. It is just a technique. Of course, we also try and do, but it's just a technique, and he wants to do that effortlessly and solve the cube in 5 seconds or 7 seconds. So what is his mind going on? What is all the time he is thinking is about this cube. And he is spending hours of time every day. Imagine what is this life, what is he feeding the mind and energy, body. And if it continues, and we know what will happen at the time of death, he will probably next become some player of the cube or maker of the cube or whatever. So people are just not being guided. This avidya shakti is completely circum them. One desire after the other. There is no meaning to what. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. People are spending time in different circumstances because of want of Krishna consciousness. Unless they have this Krishna conscious in mind, these frivolous activities will go on, and there are many people wanting to conduct these games. I never knew this. There was a game, an international game for cube, and now it has become international. And so many games, just frivolous, just that they have no idea where they are ending up. And how this whole Krishna conscious journey is so simple. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, yuktahara viharasya yukta chestasya karmashu. You don't have to give up anything. Even the entertainment is okay. Work is okay. Eating is okay. Do it in a Krishna conscious way. Don't forget the goal. just getting carried away by different activities that mind props in, and avidya will help you. And in other way, Krishna, super soul also, because after all, Lord wants us to come back, stopping these frivolous activities. But necessary, the people make it as a necessity, and then Lord unwantingly, unwillingly, tries and favors them. So it's a very nice words that we can learn. One word, avidya. This body is a means of avidya, and this is a changing process. We have become this. It is just a temporary thing. So if this one sloka comes into our mind whenever we offer prayers, we can say bhavesmin klishyamananam avidya kama karma bihi shravana smaranarhani karishaniti kechana. Oh Lord, I have fallen into this bhava, out of this, klishyamananam, because of this material existence, and avidya has circumvented me. If I can do your Shravana Samarana Arhani, I can come out. So this is the prayer, that very nice prayer Kunti is offering. And if we can involve such prayers in our day-to-day lives and pray to Lord, and we can be freed from the influences that avidya brings in. Okay, any questions if you have? Okay, we'll stop here. Yeah, you have some question? Come again, we have to work for our livelihood, and then, yeah, you can use the mic.
Hare Krishna. So Prabhuji, the question is, we have to work, you mentioned. So I totally agree with that. And the work, when I say, is earning our livelihood, taking care of our daily chores, and doing something good for ourselves in the society, at the same time to be connected with the Krishna consciousness. So that is what I so far have understood. Then in between we have various people coming up with enterprises like the Rubik's puzzle cube, which now has become an international tournament. Similarly, people who are fans of the cricket have become coaches or aspire to become a coach, and kindly Lord Krishna grants that. So my question is, the process which we are going through is being granted because we desire that. So is it good in the very first place not to desire, or to desire and get fulfilled and go to the next life and become that? So this is a bit, I'm in a dilemma.
No, the very words that we are talking, I'll read the translation, last portion. So in order that the conditioned soul suffering from material pangs might take advantage and gain liberation. So this we should not forget. We have to gain liberation. When we are praying, of course, there is a lot of fun, somebody doing that. Somebody playing cricket or they have fun. It's not that they are doing it out of pain or something. They have fun in doing whatever they do, but it should be limited. The limit is gone when you don't have this in your mind.
So how to draw the line?
Yes,
to know?
That's the practice.
That's the practice. Okay.
That's the practice that Krishna consciousness has brought about. Prabhupada has brought about what's the line, what is minimum 16 rounds of chanting, hearing every day, Mangalarti, having prasadam. This is the line. If you don't cross, if you're doing all this, and then you're safe.
Okay.
That answers?
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.